Hi, I'm Vicky Schofield. Welcome to my 40 days of colourful prayer journaling, day 26. Today I'm revisiting one of the shiny stones I did in my prayer journal. I'm going to have another look, this time not speeded up, but normal speed. I'm going to talk about what I was doing as I drew it. Maybe to encourage you to have a go at one of these. They're fun to do and you can use them in different ways. I'm going to explore some of that later on. You can use them with lettering or in other shapes. So let's begin. So this is the shape I decided on for my stone. I've done a very rough oval because I'm thinking of something you might pick up on a beach and have polished, or one of those tumbler stones. But you could equally draw out something much more measured and symmetrical if that's the effect that you wanted. But this technique will work on any shape and looks very good if you use it for the letters of a name. If you do rounded edges, really comes alive in 3D shapes. It's lovely. So the first thing I'm doing is outlining it with indigo to make a nice dark edge. This is the shadow for the underneath. And then I'm setting out where the highlight's going to be so I don't cover that up, and the low light as well. The light shines through the stone because this is a semi-opaque stone. Light will shine through it, but you can't see through it. So I'm just marking where that lighter area is going to go at one end, and it's the opposite end to where you'll have your main highlight. I'm using the light blue. I'm going to use several shades of blue and green to make a nice mix. Here's the mid blue now. And I'm taking that right round the edge. I'm going to try and soften where it meets with the indigo and where that low light is there, so that there aren't any hard edges within the stone, that the only hard edge is the one going right round the edge. You'll see I'm using very small strokes here that sometimes they'll be side to side, sometimes they'll be circular, but trying not to make any strong lines anywhere that will stand out, but to keep blending it. And you'll see that I keep going back over the same places, smoothing it and blending it. Most of the time, like here, I'm using a very light touch. And you can tell that by the sound. You'll hear the squeak on the paper when I'm really pressing in to an edge, trying to get things to blend. Here's a green now, going on top of the two blues. I do like the mix when you use different colours. You can do these stones with a single coloured pencil. You would just start off very light and then add more layers and more pressure at the edges and where you want it darker. But I prefer the mix that you get with different colours. I like that mottled effect that you get, and I think it suits natural stones better because they are mottled if you look closely at them. They're full of different minerals and with metamorphic stones, you see little bits of other stone, don't you, that have got caught up. You'll see I keep going back over the same areas with the same colours. I do layers and then come back with the same colour as before to do another layer. I'm paying particular attention to the edges, to keeping the highlight sharp but keeping the other edges soft, working at blending the different layers together, blending in that dark edge. It is meticulous work doing these kinds of stones. They take a lot of repetition, a lot of just going over the same areas, smoothing them, adding slightly different shades, blending in what's already there. But you can begin to see that this is coming together as a three-dimensional object, just beginning to get that depth to it now. So you want the top lighter than the edges. You want the edges quite dark. I haven't started drawing the colour across the low light yet, but I will do. You can see I'm gradually bringing the colour in. And each of these lighter colours goes right across the stone. The dark colours stay more to the edges, but you'll see that the white is going to cover everything. I'm using white because it's a cool shade. It's going to add blending more than anything else. It won't make the stone white, but it blends the colours underneath together very well without darkening the stone. We don't want to darken the top of it. If I was doing a warm colour like an orange or a yellow or a red, I would be using a very pale yellow as the blending colour, because you wouldn't want the coolness of white if you're trying to make a warm stone. You can see I'm going over and over and over it, just looking for those places where it's not quite as smooth as other places. I've just seen something else there. Thought I'd finished, then decided I hadn't. And now I'm bringing the green back again, paying particular attention to the edges, blending that dark blue, just a little bit of light green across the low light there. And again taking it right over the stone, but very lightly at the lighter places, using more pressure around the edges, blending it in and bringing that depth by making the edges darker. At this point, if you wanted to draw a stone that isn't completely smooth across, if it's got indentations in it, you would use the darker shades to show the indentations. You have to know where your light is coming from, and then on the other side it's darker, and you would put that in to show that it's going in at that point. Again, just blending that dark blue across, not taking it as high as the green and the light blue. I'm trying to keep one side darker than the other to give that effect of the light going through. I'll be blending that blue so that there's no hard edge there where it meets the lighter tones. At this point you can see I'm using longer lines as I'm trying to go right across now with the colours, the blending. And at this stage it is more about blending than adding any extra colour. You're trying to take away hard edges or uneven patches. I love the depth of colour that's coming in now. It's really pleasing. And then finishing off with the white. Just taking out that hard edge. So that's my completed stone. I then go on to draw an outline around it and then change my mind about what I was doing, so because I wanted to do gold leaf on the others. But that's the thing with prayer journaling, you can do what you like, change your mind, have fun with it. But I do hope that you have a go at this. It is a lovely technique. It does take some practice, but once you can do it, it is very therapeutic and meditative. You can listen to music or meditate, listen to a meditation. It just allows your mind to think, to be free as you do the drawing, to drift and focus on God. It is a lovely thing to do while you're meditating. So have a go. And next I'm going to be looking at how you do the transparent stone.